So
20 minutes.
20 minutes, gotcha.
We'll start with Iron. You're right there.
We talked to a couple of guys on your side last night, and they said that they didn't think the film would be a great experience. They thought there were some things that, especially before the delay, they felt like they weren't as sharp as they needed to be.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt?
Yeah, that's exactly what I told them in the halftime. You know, I don't care what the hell the score said. It's about the way you play on the grass. And the great thing is they felt that too. You know, that goes back to me. Anytime they're not as sharp or anything like that, like during the week, could have done something better. Didn't have my hand on it hard enough or whatnot. But it was good. You know, that's the sign of a maturing group when. You know, I didn't know they said that until after, but those are the words that were expressed at halftime, and glad that they took to that.
Brendan?
I was just gonna say, what does it say about the defense that they did respond, I guess, to the direct challenge of tightening up in the second half?
Yeah, I mean that's what you want, right? You want a response, and coach, this whole season is about response. You know, response from whatever happened in the past, response from our preparation, response from the adversity that we see throughout the week and in the game. I mean, it's just how are we going to respond, and it was good. But you know, again, as a coach, you go back and look at the things that put you in that position. Why were they not as sharp? Why were they not? You know, and you know, I had this conversation on the sideline with the Papuchas. You know, there's always a fine line, right? You look up at the score. And you know, I'm always in tune with the score and the yards and the third downs and all this kind of stuff. And at one point in time, I mean, you know, they got 160 yards and they got 7 points, and the 7 points off of a trick play that we knew it was going to come. We have been harping on them early. It's going to come very early that they're going to do something crazy because, you know, that's just what teams like that do. And you know, they executed it great. You know, a guy got behind us. Okay, no big deal. Let's go play. But and it's a fine line between enjoying the performance on the grass and understanding what the standard is and what and how good you can play, you know, and I'm glad that I was articulate enough at halftime to tell them, like, that's not the way we do things around here, you know. I don't care what the scoreboard says, that's not the way we do things. But then at the end of the day, when you look and I mean, I saw Cal last night got curb stomped by San Diego State. You know, you want to hone back in and say, yo, like, they went out there and they played well, and again, hold the team to 10 points and 200 yards of total offense and those things. Like, you gotta give those guys some credit. Now, with the understanding that we can watch this film and be a hell of a lot better come Friday night, and we better be a hell of a lot better Friday night, because Virginia is no joke. Like, they are one of the best offenses in the entire country, not just the ACC, the entire country. You know what I mean? Saw how many big plays they're scoring. They're firing on all cylinders. They're confident. I mean, they are a good football team. So the things that we got away with last week, we're not going to be able to get away with this week. So I believe that the guys will respond the right way.
Corey?
When you talk about Virginia, kind of what stands out about them? I know they scored a lot of points, they put up a lot of yards, but how are they doing?
Explosive. They're explosive. You know, it all starts with the run game. You look at their run numbers, and they're running the ball on people. Okay, well, when you run the ball on people, you got to change coverage, right? You got to put more hats down in the box. You got to get it tighter to the box, and then they're throwing it over the top of people. You know what I mean? The quarterback, I don't think he gets enough credit for keeping so many plays alive. I don't remember. I thought I saw a stat somewhere he has not been sacked this year. I don't know if that still stayed true or not throughout this Stanford game, but you know, just in watching the game, he's really mobile. He knows what he wants to do. You can see him check with the line of scrimmage. He's making checks on the line. I mean, and he's keeping plays alive, and it's the off-script stuff that is really, really dangerous. So he's, you know, you add the run game component with the quarterback playing at a high level, get them in and out of place, and then they're confident. I mean, they're humming on all cylinders. So it's going to be a great challenge for the guys and myself come Friday.
Peter?
Coach, going back to the Kent State game, that touchdown that they gave up on them, what did you saw, like what went wrong with them when that was the coverage?
Yeah, we're playing, and you know, again, when you're aggressive, that's the offense's chance to take advantage of that aggressiveness, right? So quarterback took it and he starts running down the line, so everybody thinks it's a run. So the receiver goes and he's acting like he's gonna crack the safety. So then the safety starts to turn down and go down to crack replace. But the moment that the quarterback steps back to throw the ball, you know, you see the DB's like, oh crap, and then just, you know, got in front, got behind us by a couple of yards, and that was it. But, you know, again, like, that's football, right? They're gonna drop a play, and you know they used our aggressiveness to their advantage on that, and it's something that you're gonna learn from. But it's something that happens. You know, I like the response after, because they tried a whole bunch of double moves later on. They tried to, you know, pop some things open, and the guys were back there and were in good coverage. So.
Ira?
James made a comment yesterday that, you know, quarterbacks been getting the ball out really quickly,
Mhm.
these last couple weeks especially, I guess all 3 weeks. How do you evaluate the pass rush in those situations when you're not getting a ton of at-bats, to do what they do?
Yeah, a great question, because that came up. I actually was continuously talking with T Knight and those guys in the box, Zach, about, you know, what does that look like? Are we able to beat them? Are we going to get there? Da, da, da. Like, they get the ball out too fast. They get the ball out too fast. You know, I'm not tripping there. It's the times you do. You might not get very many chances to just sit back there and pass rush, which, you know, if you when you go back and watch the game, you know, as expected, they're not going to let you just pass rush, right? Whenever they had to drop back, they kept the guys in there and they were chipping guys. So they were chip releasing, giving them some extra time, you know, widening the edges, all those kind of things. So between coming up with a rush plan for all those chips and things that we're going to see, and then, you know, the quick game, I mean, the quick game has got to take care of itself. That's coverage, right? But, you know, we're gonna continue to see those things as we get down, as we play good opponents. That's what they're gonna do. So we got to adjust.
Brendan?
Following up on that, with James specifically, he had mentioned not having a sack. Like, is he doing okay with? Could he be pressing at all, or do you talk to someone who has those expectations, not to worry about those numbers?
Nope, I don't. Again, I don't care about the sack numbers. I don't care about none of that stuff. It's one, did we help our offense? Did we put our offense in a position to go win the game? Did we put our team in a position to go win the game? And then, did you execute at a high level? That's it. That's all there is. Because some games you can't help. Some games you can't help the ball, you know, just not coming your way. But there's going to be some games where, guess what? He might have 2, 3, 4 sacks in a game. I mean, that's just the way football is. But it's the guys who usually, when they start trying to press and start trying to make plays and go out of their comfort zone, that happened yesterday, and guys were giving up some plays. You know what I mean? Where they're trying to do too much, and it's like, yo, why would you even think that? You know what I mean? And they're, I'm trying to do this. It's like, hey, no, that's not the way we operate. You know, then you get a whole bunch of just renegades out there doing whatever they want to do. No, you play the game, and the game will come to you. If you're doing things right, the game will come to you, and you just got to make most of those opportunities.
Chris?
When you're evaluating a quarterback like Chandler Morris, how much do you look at what he's doing at UVA specific to their system versus what he's done prior in his
No,
career?
it's UVA, because what he's doing now is working. I mean, he is electric. He's fun to watch. He's kind of like a Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray type guy. You know what I mean? Like, very smart. Again, you watch. I don't think he don't get enough credit, man. Like, he's putting him in and out of plays. He knows the looks. Hey, they're in this look, he's getting the ball out fast. They're in that look, he's giving off the run. And then, you know, when you blitz them, guys are running scot-free back there and trying to, you know, get him down on the ground. And he's making plays. He's making guys miss, running around, and then finding a guy open for 40 yards down the field. You know, very similar to what Tommy does. So it's gonna be fun, man. They're a really good football team. I don't think they're getting enough credit for what they're doing.
Liam?
You mentioned some areas of improvement. Is turnovers one of those things that you want to maybe see a little bit more of? I know we talked to you last week, you had the 2 picks, but you said could have been more. Jerry gets one yesterday. One, how do you kind of coach that to manufacture a ton of opportunities? And 2, you know, what do you want to see from them in that regard?
Yeah, I want to see him take the ball away. You know, again, we still have not caused a fumble from contact. You know, we almost had one with when Drell hit the quarterback there at the last second, but still we have not had those physical hits where we're jarring the ball loose from those guys or affecting the quarterback enough to where he's giving the ball up. So that's the first point of emphasis this week, especially with the way these guys are playing. We're gonna need some takeaways this game to get the ball back to the offense so they can do what they do.
Bob?
Coach, thinking about first year and second year players, who's made the most of these game opportunities against East Texas and Kent State, but also using that practice time in the bye week
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's the guys that come to mind. AJ Cottrell, I thought, you know, he continues to get really, really good and hone his skills. Donnie, he's doing a good job. The more he plays, the more you can feel his presence in there. All those young guys, Daryl Desir, you see him coming up and catching on. The backup secondary guys, I think, you know, the Kai Bates, the Ricky Knights, the Charles Lesters, those guys, seeing them get in the game and seeing them execute, I think the more depth you have, you know, the more games you're gonna play, you're gonna need those guys to perform. You know, you're just gonna need those guys to do that. I thought those guys off the top of my head showed up well.
Ira?
You, this may not be the first time this happened to you, but your name's been floated out there for maybe head coaching opportunities. How do you block that out? Do you have to address that with players, things like that during the season?
Yeah, the first time that came up a couple years ago, you know, and I didn't know how to, you know, first time anything comes up like that, you don't know how to handle it, so you're all giddy and all that kind of stuff, and you know, you're trying to juggle two things at once, all that kind of stuff, and you know, you go through the process and you learn, right, in life, like that has nothing to do with now. Like I have not been contacted, and I've not been nothing, so there is no other job, there is no other privilege greater than the one I have right now, you know, and leading these guys on defense, being with Coach Norvell and the guy who gave me a chance, Mr. Alford. There's nothing until there's something, you know what I mean? And so I'm not gonna fall in that trap again. Like we got one of the best offenses in the country coming in here, and again, like I see it, and people tell me, and all this, I get text messages, hey, and I'm like, bro, like leave me alone, Like I've been here before. Somebody told me I jumped on a Zoom call. Like I got a Zoom call, you know, thinking I didn't know what it's about. I jump on there, I see 200 Bruins on there. I'm like, hey guys, They start talking about it, and you know, I'm at family dinner. I'm like, hey, I'm not supposed to be on here. Gotta go. Gotta get ready to beat Kent State's tail. See ya. And that was it. All about 30 seconds on that thing. So, tell you what, like, again, I know there's a lot of things going on there, but it's just a testament to the things we're doing, you know, the things and the performance under Coach Norvell and what he's done, and you know, the chance he's given me to come over here and execute my responsibilities.
Corey?
The last 2 weeks, you probably played close to 40 guys each of these games. What in a perfect world, how many guys, now that we're in the conference play, how many guys are you looking to play in a given game? Does it
I
go
don't
with
know.
the flow?
It just goes with the flow. You know, I think the Bama, if you take it, you know, in real time, I think the Bama is probably the real number. I don't know, somewhere between 18-ish, right in there, give or take some guys. I think 18, 20 maybe might be the correct number, just depending on the score and the physicality, all that kind of stuff. But you know, you don't get. I haven't seen that. I've not been a part of things like that. You know, me, Coach Coop, like we're over there talking. Like I have never seen almost 500 yards rushing, like 40 first downs. Like I for real was like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I had to use the bathroom so bad because I got so much Gatorade. Powerade. I went over there and grabbed some, like 5 cups of Powerade over there. I'm like, what is going on right now? You know what I mean? But tell you what, like anytime you get a chance to play 40 guys, that is truly a program win. You know, that Tallahassee, Florida State, past, present, and future knows that is a win, period.
Peter?
Coach, you mentioned this earlier about preparing for UVA, and wanting to get sharp after the last game. Just what are some things that will be like the most challenging part of trying to get this team up to task when you're going to on the road and being in a different environment?
Yeah, this is our first one, right? But it's all the focus. You lay it out in front of the guys, you tell them exactly what it's going to be. And then the good thing with this group is, like the first week, they know what we got to do. They know who's going to line up across from them to come Friday night. They know that. So now I think it's just more of a matter of our process, making sure that we show them the things we need to show them, making sure that we come up with a game plan that's very clear and precise on what we want to get done, and then putting them in those situations the whole week, so that way they understand what they're going to get, how they're going to get attacked. You know, make sure we play with dominant contact and give them the confidence that go out there and just play their butts off. You know, so I don't think getting them up is going to be the issue for this week. They're going to be prepared. It's going to be the normal operations of going on the road the first time. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. But Coach Norvell and his plan, you know, it's worked in the past. It'll work again.
We got time for two more quick ones. Ira?
Jarrell came back, was able to play, and it seems like Quindarius is starting to kind of settle in. Like, is the competition what you want to see at the cornerback position? Just all those guys kind of challenging each other?
Yeah. I mean, you got Q, Jerry, Brill, those guys right there. I mean, that's like a kind of like you look at all those guys as co-starters. You know what I mean? And so it was good to see Brill come back because he needed to get his timing back from missing and all that kind of stuff, especially out there. You know, you miss a tackle on the edge and it's a touchdown. You know, and so you gotta be sharp. You gotta be your wits about you. So him getting on the grass and executing. But again, you know, all three of them, they did some really good things, and they did some things that we don't do around here. So for the whole crew, it is putting the last game to rest and moving forward with a really, really good UVA team.
Brendan, last one?
I didn't know that. Shamar got some reps at safety. How did he look there? Is that something you guys are gonna continue to experiment with?
Yep. He's doing a good job of allowing us to move him around. You know, he's learning. Coach Coop's doing a good job moving him around, and we always want to try to find different combinations of the best 5 guys to put on the field at any point in time what we want to do. I mean, he's got the athletic ability of a first-round draft choice. I mean, he's tall, he's long, he's super twitchy, he's explosive, he's aggressive. You know, he's not afraid of you. So now it's just a matter of what can he do capacity-wise mentally, so that way he can go and execute. So you saw him at safety. We were going to put him back in at corner, but by that time it was just like, you know, let the other guys get in there and do what they do. But he's coming along. He is.
Okay.